might be a cold and rainy Tuesday here on the East Coast, but we're going to heat things up with 3 video game news stories that I definitely want to cover. First off, we're going to talk about Luigi's Mansion 3 sales because it's actually been surprising a lot of people with just how well this game has been selling. Next up, we're going to talk about some Pokemon leaks. No, I'm not going to talk about the leaks themselves, but it looks like Nintendo has actually caught the leaker behind this, and it's definitely a very interesting situation. And then finally, tomorrow we have a big Smash Brothers Direct, a 45-minute presentation, and I want to give you guys my impressions on what I expect to see at this Smash Direct. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, enjoy the intro because I'm bringing it back for a one-time only thing. Maybe I'll bring it back from time to time, and let's talk about what's going on in the world of video game news.
Hey, RG285. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So first off, let's talk about Luigi's Mansion 3. Now this game obviously came out last week. We did a full review of the game on the channel, and honestly, I really enjoyed this game. I think it's one of the best games I've played of 2019. I'm definitely willing to put it up there with games like Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2. Luigi's Mansion 3 was definitely a game that I feel a lot of people were sleeping on. I love the original Luigi's Mansion. I thought Dark Moon had some cool elements, so I was definitely looking forward to this game. I think more so than a lot of people were. Well, Luigi's Mansion 3 finally has some initial sales data coming to us out of the UK, and the game is selling very well. It's actually the highest selling game for the Nintendo Switch within a release window, outpacing both Super Mario Maker 2 and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. Now what's interesting about that is, of course, Link's Awakening has been selling really well. We got some initial sales data from Nintendo during the last investors meeting, and that game sold about 3.1 million copies in just 10 days on the market. Super Mario Maker 2 sold about 4.4 million copies worldwide as of the data that we had. So this game seems to be outpacing and outperforming both of those games. And you know what I have to say about that? Good. It's honestly one of the best Switch games and one of the best games overall that I've played in 2019. And I definitely think it's a contender for the best Switch game of the year. I know some people are going to prefer games like Fire Emblem or Astral Chain, and I totally get why, but I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is just a spectacular game. It has some of the best visuals that we have seen on the Nintendo Switch. There are times when you're playing this game and it honestly looks like an animated film with just how many facial animations there are and just how you can interact with this environment that you're in. I think the addition of the multiplayer is a big deal for this game as well. There's a lot of hidden secrets to find in this game. It's just an absolutely fantastic game, and I really hope this game does sell well. I think the next time we hear sales data for Luigi's Mansion 3 at the next Nintendo's investors meeting, I think you're gonna hear like 5 to 6 million copies sold worldwide of this game. I think a lot of people were sleeping on this game, but once the reviews started coming out for it, I definitely think it changed a lot of people's minds on this game. If you haven't picked up Luigi's Mansion 3, I highly suggest you guys go check out my review on the game. I dug pretty deep into the game and see if it's a game for you, because I think it'll honestly surprise you, because it really is just a solid game from top to bottom. Next up, let's talk about some Pokemon Sword and Shield, which of course is the biggest game for the Nintendo Switch in the month of November. And of course, this has been a very controversial topic. This is pretty much the Death Stranding of the Nintendo Switch, because there's a lot of polarizing opinions on this game. Some people are unhappy with things like the Pokedex being removed. Some people feel like the graphics aren't up to snuff when it comes to a Nintendo Switch game, that maybe Game Freak is reusing assets and reusing things from this. But recently, there have been some leaks floating around for Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Nintendo Switch Online, and there's been a whole bunch of fallout from this situation. Now, other channels have covered these leaks, but I have not, because pretty much just 2 reasons. One, I don't want to spoil the game for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are probably really looking forward to Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I didn't want to spoil the game for you guys. And 2, honestly just don't care. Like, I'm a very casual Pokemon player. I'm a very casual Pokemon fan. I still will be picking up Pokemon Sword and Shield regardless to check it out and give you guys my impressions on that game, but I didn't want to ruin anything for you guys when it came to Pokemon Sword and Shield. But obviously these leaks have been going all around the internet, but it looks like the Nintendo ninjas have found the leaker, and I have a lot of things to say about this. So evidently someone got an early copy of this game. Now, how the person got an early copy of Pokemon Sword and Shield definitely remains to be seen. Obviously they probably got it from someone else, so I don't really necessarily think they're the highest on the food chain when it comes to this, but they are definitely near the top of the food chain, and Nintendo has gone after this person and allegedly has found this person. There's a tweet floating around online that pretty much confirms this. So this tweet is coming to us from someone named KG Prestige, and it says the following: LMAO, from a single profile pic, they not only found the culprit, but the dude's channel, which was connected to a Facebook thing, which showed him his real profile identity, which revealed everything. If that isn't a chain reaction of insanity, I don't know what is. Now, of course, this individual is probably going to be in a world of trouble. We've heard things about Nintendo ninjas showing up to people's houses, but let me tell you guys something. These Nintendo ninjas are real people. This stuff actually happens. I know someone who actually had an interaction with these Nintendo ninjas. They showed up to his house with like documents and they were like, yo, you did this, how did you do this, where did you get this from, and things like that. It is a very real situation, and Nintendo definitely prioritizes their IPs, and the Pokemon Company is obviously prioritizing this game and not wanting leaks to get out about this game. So I definitely think this person is in a world of trouble. Of course, if they cooperate, things will go much easier for them, but it's definitely a very strange situation. I guess the real puzzle piece that is left is how this individual actually got an early copy of the game in order to have information on this game that nobody else has, that these leaks have pretty much been confirmed as being actual things. I really enjoy these sort of situations. It's always fun to look at them from the outside looking in because I never want to have a run-in with the Nintendo ninjas personally. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some fallout from this situation. I think it'll be really interesting to see if we get any updated information on how this individual got the game. But yes, the Nintendo ninjas are out there. They have the culprit, and things are going to get very, very interesting. And finally, although I said there would not be a November Nintendo Direct, it seems like there's a Nintendo Direct coming of sorts, I guess. There's going to be a Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct tomorrow on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, which I won't be waking up for that. That's a little bit too early for my liking. But yes, there's going to be a big presentation on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, the main focus of this is obviously going to be Terry, the new character coming to us to Smash Brothers. And I'm really excited for Terry. I really have sort of just been picking and choosing the DLC for Smash Brothers, as I am a casual Smash Brothers player. I'm definitely not like doing wombo combos and shit like that. Like, I just play for fun. I just play the game to play with the different characters. But I really like Terry when you're talking about the King of Fighters series, when you're talking about games like Fatal Fury, Capcom vs. SNK. Terry is definitely a very iconic character to me, so I will be picking up this Terry character whenever it launches. Many people are thinking it will launch during this Smash Brothers Direct presentation tomorrow, and I honestly think that will probably happen. I could definitely see Terry becoming available later on in the day. But what's interesting about this Smash Direct is it's going to be 45 minutes long. And according to Nintendo, they are not going to talk about any new characters coming to Smash Brothers. This was said in a tweet, so a lot of people are like, well, what the hell is going to take up 45 minutes of time in this Smash Direct? Obviously, you could do things like different buffs and different nerfs that have been done for different characters, but what all is going to happen during this Smash Direct? Looks like one of the things from this upcoming Smash Brothers Direct has been potentially leaked, and it involves Mii costumes. Now, there's a video floating around the internet right now with some very grainy footage, but when you're looking at the footage, you could definitely see there's something going on with Mii costumes here, and people with eagle eyes quickly identified what these two new Mii costumes were. And it appears that Geno from Super Mario RPG will be getting some sort of Mii costume in this game potentially. But what's really interesting is it looks like Doomslayer will potentially be getting a costume as well in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch, and I honestly think that is very, very cool. Of course, during that fake Nintendo Direct announcement that we talked about a couple of days ago on the channel, we said that Doomslayer was potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch version of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I thought, you know, there's really not a chance of that, but maybe there is in some sort of Mii costume. I think you're going to see a lot more Mii costumes as well introduced during this Smash Bros. Direct, and honestly, I think people sort of sleep on these Mii costumes. They're actually very, very cool stuff. Of course, we got some Undertale representation in Smash Bros. Now because of Mii costumes, and I think that's really a way to sort of expand the different lineages of games and add in more games without having to do a full-on character. Now, as far as what else is going to be in this Super Smash Bros. Direct, I think you're going to see new game modes introduced into the game as well. Maybe some older game modes brought back to the Ultimate version of Smash, and maybe some brand new game modes in general. Really, 45 minutes is a very long time. Obviously, they're not going to spend 45 minutes on Terry and things like buffs. And obviously, whenever they do these presentations, there's usually a big Super Smash Bros. Update that comes along with these things. So if you're a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate fan, I think you definitely need to have this on your radar tomorrow. I will check it out when I wake up after the fact, because obviously I'm a very casual Smash Brothers player, but I'm hoping that Terry comes out tomorrow. I'm hoping we get the introduction of these Mii costumes, and I'm hoping we get the introduction of some new game modes, because if they do that, it's going to be a very exciting time. Maybe even a little bit of a tease for an upcoming character that we're going to see at the Game Awards that will be announced? Maybe. Alright, Alright, so those were 3 stories that I wanted to cover that were floating around the world of video game news. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of everything. What do you think is going to happen to this Pokemon leaker? What do you expect to see tomorrow during the Smash Brothers Direct? And are you surprised with Luigi's Mansion 3 sales? Do you think that this game will end up selling a good chunk of sales? Or do you think it'll sort of fizzle out and die like some other games do? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. Be sure to check out the merch store to get some cool RGT related merch. Buy the merch, man. Buy the merch. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.